Hi everyone, Sarah from Sarah Homfray Embroidery. In today's video I am going to answer your questions. So we get loads of comments on our videos. It's really wonderful to read them. I do try and read them all even if I can't answer them. And we get asked lots of questions as well, and we do get asked some questions more than other questions. So I thought today I would look at the top 6 questions that I get asked most frequently on this channel. Okay, so this is in no particular order because I get asked all of these ones a lot of times, but there are videos on all of these questions that I'm going to answer for you, and I will put links to those up in the corner here. I will also put links in the description below this video, so if you want to know more about these subjects that we're going to look at, then you can check out the videos on those. So when I do stitching in my videos, I have my frames held in a clamp, and people always say, oh, what's that clamp you're using? What is it that you're working on? And it's one of these. So this is a versatile table clamp, and it consists of 2 parts. I'll just take it apart. There's a barrel there, and the barrel screws to the table, and then there's a stalk with a clamp on the top, and the stalk goes in the barrel, and you can adjust the height of it and the angles and everything of that, and then you can fit your embroidery frame into your clamp there. So you can use a normal ring frame, you can use a stretcher bar frame. They'll take most frames, they'll take Q-snap frames as well, because this expands here, so you can get quite large frames in it, and that's what I use because I really like to have both hands free. It's much easier to stitch if you've got 2 hands free. If you do a lot of stitching, you can put a hand underneath and a hand on top, and you can go like a sewing machine. So they are really great. I use 2 for the filming. That's really to keep it extra steady underneath the camera. We get in really nice and close with the camera, and if it wobbles it does pick it up on the camera. You only really need to have 1, or if you were doing a really big project 2 might be more useful. You can get one of these from our shop. We do send them out worldwide. I'll put a link in the description below to this listing for this product. They are really great, and that is what I use for all of my stitching videos. So the next one I want to look at is more of a type of question than a specific question. So it's a can I do question. Can I use this thread with this fabric? Can I make such and such out of this stitch? Can I use this colour to create this? And I don't often know the answers to those questions myself. So there's so many combinations of threads and fabrics and designs and materials that there isn't really a right or a wrong about embroidery. That's what I love about it. It's something you can try and experiment and find out these answers for yourself. So I'm a huge advocate of sampling. So not a sort of traditional sampler you might know with all the beautiful rows, and they're all very nice and neatly finished, and the young girls would do these wonderful pieces of work at school. The literal definition of a sampler, so that is to practice something and to try it out first. If you don't know whether a stitch will look like a certain thing you want to create, a certain text you want to create, then have a little bit of fabric and just try it out, see what it does. It will look different in different threads and fabrics, and needle sizes, and there's lots of parameters that will make it look different, so you need to just try it out. So I thought I would just show you these briefly. These are my little samples that I have done for projects on this channel. I don't just sit down and magic up a piece of embroidery from nowhere. I do actually do quite a little bit of working out first. So I'm just going to show you these. They can just be any little bit of fabric. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It's just a little scrappy bit left over that I can try it out on. And these are my needle lace samples I did for my teddy bear video. If you saw the needle lace teddy bear, I just tried some different patterns first, and just to make sure that I know what colours I want to use and how the pattern works, and if there's anything else that I need to think about. So that was for the teddy bear. This one is all sorts on it, so some upside down bits. So you can see a little bit of lettering here for the lettering video. We did one on textures, stitches that you could use for textures. So I've just tried a few out just to make sure I know how to do the stitch and how many threads I might need, what colours I want to do it in. There's the little peacocks. We did a whole series on the peacocks and how to do stitches that filled it in. And edging stitches, and there's even a little cactus there. We did a video on cactus. So that's my sampler, and you can see it really is a sampler. It really is just a place to play with ideas and just to try things out. You don't have to do the whole motif if you don't want. I've just done there just enough to go, right, now I know what I'm doing and how that's going to work, and I don't need to do any more. You don't need to make 2 of everything. And there's another one there with some lettering. We did 5 stitches for lettering. and I just practice them and trying them out, trying a couple of other ideas as well on there. We've got some needles look ready to go. And I just keep that in my drawer and I think, oh, I just need to try that. I'll just grab that, try it on there. There's no pressure to get it right or wrong. Nobody's going to look at this and see what it looks like. So do check that one out. Again, the videos will all appear up in the corner, a whole video on how to do sampling and why you should be doing sampling and how you can use it to help you. So the next question is about starting and finishing threads, and people ask me, why do you put your knot on the top of the fabric, and why do you do those two little small stitches, and what are the two little stitches for? So this method of starting your thread is one I learnt when I did my training at the Royal School of Needlework, and it's a really nice method to use so that you don't have any knots or any raised areas on your work. It's a nice, flat, smooth, secure way to start and finish your threads, and I'll just show you it on this piece here. So here's the little knot. People say, why have you got a little knot on the top? That's a waist knot that will get cut off, so there won't be any knots on it at all. And then there's my two little stitches here, and there's my actual stitching. So I put my knot in, come underneath, do a tiny little stitch there on the line that I'm going to stitch on, and then I come and work my stitch and I go straight over the top of those, and that stitching over the top will secure those ends. Those two little stitches just secure that thread, stop it coming out. Then we stitch over the top of it. When we've done some stitching, we can cut the knot off. That's not useful for every occasion, but it does 95% of occasions, and just a really nice way to start it without having knots anywhere on your work, which can be bulky. They can come undone and your thread will come out. So again, check the video out on that one to see more information on how to do that. And Jonathan has just reminded, Jonathan's behind the camera doing the editing, if you don't know who Jonathan is, and he says, oh, they also ask about the little tail on the back. So I thought we'll just have a quick look at that. So this is the back of that little bit of stitching I've just shown you, and that there is the knot. And when you cut the knot off of the front, you get this little tail on the back. And I always forget about this bit, but people do ask about this, is right. So you can do a couple of things with that knot. You can either start your knot very closely to where you're going to stitch, and the more you practice, the easier that becomes. So when you cut it off, you don't have a little tail, or you can use a thread to sew it down. So you can cut the knot off there, you can lay it next to these other threads, and you can sew over it and secure it in. It's not going to come undone because the two little stitches are holding it, so you can just cut it off if you want, but if you want to make it super secure, you could just sew over it, or you could use the lasso method to just weave it in and out of the stitches on the back. You can check that out in that video as well. So if you are bothered by the little the little end floating around on the back, there are some things that you can do about that. Okay, so loads and loads of questions about needles. What size needle do I use? What size needle are you using? What needle do I need for this? What needle do I need to work on denim fabric? We have a whole playlist on needles. Needles are really important, and you may not realise how many there are. And if I just show you these quickly, these are, let me show you those ones first. So these are all the types of needles. They're not all the types, there are more than this. These are the ones that I tend to use, and lots of different needles for lots of different occasions. You need to have the right needle for the right job. And then within those types of needles, so we've got embroidery needles and crewel needles up here, you get different sizes of needle as well. So it's the type of needle you need and the size you need. Those are really important. Your embroidery would be much easier if you have the right size of needle. And you need to match the needle to the thread you're using. I get a lot of people ask me what needle do I need for a particular fabric. There are specific needles for types of fabric, but it's really about the thread that you're using. You match the needle to the thread first, and then you can think about the fabric. So do go and check out the playlist that we have on needles, because there is some video about all the different kinds of needles and which one you should be using, and there's another one about how to store them and about how to work out what needles you've got when they will end up in a big pile in your sewing case. So lots about needles. Do go and check that out, because you will find that really helpful for your future embroideries. So this next one is probably the one that I do get asked the most, I think, is how many strands should I use? If you're not sure what that question even means, so we've got these stranded cottons here. So they are made up of 6 strands. There's a length there, and within that 6 strands, and they're made so that you can pull the strands apart and you can choose how many strands you use. Some makes will have more than 6, some will have 10, but the principle is the same. You can pull them out and you can choose how thick your thread is. And I always get asked, how many do I use? and I often don't even know what it is you're stitching. I just can't answer that question. So we refer you back to the sampling video. You need to try it out. There isn't a right or wrong answer about how many strands for a particular project or a particular design or a particular fabric. You need to work that out and see what you like. So you need to get your bit of fabric and you need to try it on your little bit of fabric and see what you like. You can do more than 6. There's 6 in a skein, 6 in there, each one of those. But if you want to double it up, if you're working on a canvas, you might want to do that. You can put more in and you can mix your colours and you can do all sorts. We have a whole video on how on talking about stranded cotton and when you can strand it and how to strand it, and all sorts of other information on there. Do check that out. But I just wanted to show you these as well, because these are also stranded and they're different kinds of thread. So this is a DMC Etoile thread, so this is the sparkly one. So it's like the cotton, but it's got the little sparkle in, and you can see the difference. If I just put them next to each other, you can see how different they look. So even if you've got a stranded cotton, it might not work the same as a stranded DMC Etoile thread. So you would need to try that out as well. Don't assume 2 strands in this is the same as 2 strands in this. We've also got these anchor linen threads as well. These are very different. So the cottons are quite smooth. You'll get quite a nice shine on that. These ones are nice and sparkly. These ones are a little bit more rough. You don't get quite the same shine on these. They do react very differently. And these are very fine as well. When you strand these, you get really fine threads. It's a little bit finer than the cotton, I would say. So each type of stranded thread will act differently, so it is important that you just try a little bit out before you choose how many you want to use. And the last one I want to talk about is the question I get about, do you have a video on ... I get loads of people, they watch one and they say, oh, that's really good, have you got one on this? And they just ask me, have you got a video on it? And I just don't have time to answer them all. I really don't, I'm afraid. There's so many of you commenting, which is really wonderful. But I just thought I would show you how to look at the library that we have and see the videos that we have got and find a video if you're interested in a specific subject, because we've got over 350 now. There are loads of videos on there. So I just thought I'd just go through how you can find a video if you're interested to see something else. So I'm just going to go through these directions. If you're watching on a computer, it is very similar on a phone. The logos are the same. So if you're actually watching one of our videos and you want to see a different video, you want to see what else we have made, you can click on the name and the logo. So that's the little round symbol in the lower left of the screen. On the phone, it will just be underneath the video. That's our little channel logo with a little B on it. If you click that, it will take you to our YouTube channel. Once you're on this page, you can see a home page to the channel. So you can either click on videos, and this will show you all of the videos that we have made. You can order them by age and when they went up, or you can order them by popularity. You can see what it is everybody else is watching. Or if you want to search for a specific subject, you can click on the little magnifying glass. Then you can type the word that you want to search for. So say we wanted the French knot video, I could type in French, hit enter, and then the videos that we have with French knots in will pop up on the screen for you to watch. The other way that you can search is to click on the playlist. So if you're searching for a specific subject, if you're looking for those videos about needles, we have the whole playlist on needles, you can just go to the playlist. You can scroll down that and you'll see the one on needles there, and you can click on that and that will show you all of the videos in that group that are all about needles. So do have a little look around on the channel. We've got loads of stuff on there. We've been on air for, I think it was over 10 years we worked out the other day, so there's lots of information on there. Do have a little look, see what you can find and see if there's something else that will inspire you. Some of those are a little bit old. But we leave them up there because I still think they're relevant, but you can see how much we've improved on the filming and on the video making, so be kind if you are watching those, but there's still lots of useful information in them. So if you're not quite ready to go to the channel and have a little look around there, you could check out this video up here. You might find this one really good. If you've enjoyed this video you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. You can just click the little button below, and I will see you in the next video.